Hello everybody, Sandra Cole here with my Mental Health Monday capsule for That Voice in My Head. Now, there are three subjects that I want to touch upon today and that I would like to expand accordingly over the course of the next few capsules. One of them is the subject of haters. The other one is the subject of gaslighting. And the third one is kind of, rather than a subject on its own, it's kind of something that puts the other two together, like holds them really close together, which is social media and the repercussions of what a lot of people are considering free speech being stopped. Now, to start with, and this is something that on the one hand I would like to I would like to make sure that it's stated beforehand, before anything else, because free speech is a right that stops at the same point that any other right stops, which is it stops at the moment when someone else is being harmed by what is being said or by the actions or repercussions of what is being said. Now, haters. We all know what I mean by that. Haters gonna hate. That is such a harmful comment in and of itself to begin with, because considering that there is such a thing as hate crimes, and considering that said hate crimes are usually directly linked to racism, to homophobia, to transphobia, and in different places of the world to sexism as well, when femicide comes into the play, then that term hater is not something that we should be using lightly. Considering that a lot of us all over the world are going through a lot more difficulties because of either the specific government that that we have, I would say, let's just put it very, very bluntly there. There are many governments around the world which are not doing the best job. And that is an actual fact, no matter how many people want to disguise it as something else. Now, this comes into play in two different ways. On the one hand, it's bad enough that the governments themselves are not doing a very good job. On the other hand, it's not very good when there are people out there adamant that the situation has to do with something else entirely, which, by exploring that narrative, as much as it is their right to say it and to express that, if what they are saying causes harm to people for them expressing that, either directly through their words, because remember, the power of words is immense. The power of words is huge. The power of words can make or break someone. So, if people are out there making accusations which in and of themselves are not real, but other people are falling for them, then we tie ourselves into a blind knot. Because no matter how well intended the in this case the passing on of the information might be, if the information is false or harmful, then the people who follow through on that information will eventually be harmed. So in this particular case, we're not talking specifically about haters. When some people say that their freedom of speech is being stunted or stopped in any way, but we need to start being extremely careful in this time of full-on wide openness in social media, because whenever any one of us wants to come in there and say, hang on a second, what you are saying is something that's not quite real, what you are saying is something that's not quite appropriate, these people might end up attacking you by the same I would say the same modus operandi as those that go through the haters gonna hate phase. And that is one of the reasons why I want to expand on the haters aspect of this video at some point soon, because unfortunately what has happened over the last few weeks, considering the insane amount of quite literal stress and anxiety that is doing the rounds, when we have people attacking each other like that over social media as well, is not really helping at all. So I mean, let's just be really, really fair and call out for peace between us. Let's call out for those who need to be held into account to actually properly be held into account, for governments who are not doing a very good job and who unfortunately are not being held accountable for whatever reason. Let's make a call out for them to be held into account, because all of that is playing so badly into our own minds. All of that is playing so badly into our own stability in itself, regardless of whether we notice or not, regardless of whether someone wants to admit it or not, which is where I come into the third subject that I want to talk about today, and that I would like to expand upon at some point soon, which is gaslighting. I am pretty certain that there isn't absolutely anyone who would be watching this who doesn't actually know already what gaslighting is. Unfortunately, not everyone is in this kind of position as I am, of being actually able to openly talk about it, to actually being able to bring it up in any way, in this case through social media. Not everyone is in the same kind of safe terms or even safe space. And once again, considering the amount of people who might actually be there self-isolating with an abusive partner or with an abusive family member, my call out for peace and I hope that it's actually being heard, is for people to stop yelling at each other through social media. For people to stop creating this harmful narrative within literally the only channels through which we can communicate with the outside world. I will say, hopefully, this call out will reach the right people. I will say, hopefully, this video will get to the right people who need that. I myself don't do any kind of coaching anymore. I used to. I would be happy to hear anyone out who needs to. If you want to send me a message, or if you want to, tell me your story about going through any of these kind of things, I would be more than happy to listen to that. I would even more happily give out information about people who can, about people who are who do that for a living, and that particularly in the sense of whoever might be going through an abusive relationship at the moment, or anything like that, which, by the way, doesn't actually only need to mean partners. It can be that someone is being gaslighted by someone else through social media, which is, like I said right now, considering that that is literally the only channel that we have for worldwide communication, then that's something that's pretty stressful and pretty bad. Hence my call out. Like I said, hopefully I'll get through the right place, to the right places. Hopefully it'll make some people think about what they are exploring out there and the way that they are referring to things out there. And I will be more than happy to be passing on the information of people who might be able to help under any kind of circumstances like those. And, well, wishing everybody a safe time during this next stage of the self-isolation period, whatever stage it is for so many people around the world. Just sending out blessings and hoping that there is peace in your worlds. Thank you for listening. Bye.